Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're grabbing our gear, diving into something pretty crucial in corporate finance.
Yeah, it's about how some numbers, the ones that look really good on paper, can sometimes, well, hide what's really going on.
Exactly. We're talking about that temptation to rely on just one metric,
Yeah.
specifically EBITDA, right?
That's the one. The siren song, as you said. And why, really, when it comes down to it, cash. Cash is the ultimate reality check for a business.
Okay, so our source for this is an article, Cash Reality, Beyond the EBITDA Illusion.
Mm-hmm.
And our mission, really, is to unpack why leaning too hard on just EBITDA can be, well, kind of dangerous.
And why seeing the whole financial story is just vital. For the long run, anyway.
The article kicks off with that classic saying, you hear it a lot in finance.
Oh, yeah. Turnover is vanity. Profit is sanity.
But cash is reality. Really sums it up, doesn't it? Different numbers, different stories.
It does. And there's even a little rhyme in there to make the point stick.
Right. Let's see if I remember it. The CEO, with chest puffed wide, praises sales where glories hide.
Yeah, the CFO with furrowed brow counts the profit here and now.
But wise investors, sharp and keen.
Seek the cash, a truer scene.
Perfect. And that really gets to the heart of it, you know.
It does, because you see it all the time. Leadership teams, sometimes investors too, just laser focused on EBITDA.
It's everywhere. And let's be honest, it often looks better, cleaner than other figures.
It smooths things out, yeah. EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization.
We know the acronym, but the appeal is, well, it strips out stuff that makes net income look a bit messy, right?
Exactly. Financing costs, tax rates, those big non-cash things like depreciation and amortization.
So the idea is it gives you a quick snapshot of operations before all that other stuff.
Makes it look tidy. Comparable between companies, supposedly, can make a business seem really efficient at its core job.
Like putting a filter on a photo.
That's a good way to put it. Cleans it up, makes the colors pop, hides a few blemishes.
But it's not the raw picture, not the unvarnished truth.
Precisely.
Okay, so we get why it's appealing, simplifies things, but the article's pretty clear. Just looking at EBITDA, that's dangerous.
Very. It says it's just not a solid measure of financial health. And definitely not how you build, lasting value.
So why? Why is this number, the one that's supposed to show operating strength, potentially such an illusion?
Well, because it ignores the actual cash costs of doing business and growing.
Like what?
Like interest payments. That's real cash leaving the building. Taxes, same thing.
Okay.
And capital expenditures, the actual money spent on buying machinery, buildings, whatever.
Yeah.
Depreciation is just an accounting entry for past spending.
Right, it's non-cash.
But EBITDA adds that depreciation back, making it look like you have that cash, but maybe you spent it years ago. Or, more importantly, you need to spend more cash soon just to replace things or keep running.
Ah, that's the key bit. Depreciation spreads out a past cash hit. The EBITDA acts like the cash is magically back now.
Yes. And meanwhile, you might be facing huge new cash outlays for assets, just for maintenance, and EBITDA shows none of that.
So it hides the need for ongoing investment.
Completely. The article talks about different types of bosses who get fixated on this. You've got the optimistic enthusiasts.
The cheerleaders.
Yeah, they just love the positive numbers, steer every chat back to EBITDA.
Right. And then there are the barely tolerant naughties.
Yes. They might use things like adjusted EBITDA or EBITDA plus, basically adding back even more stuff.
Still avoiding the full picture, though.
Deep down, they should look at the balance sheet or cash flow, but they just, they'd rather not.
Like ignoring the check engine light because the radio sounds good.
Exactly. And the toughest ones, the article suggests, are the unshakable believers.
Oh, dear.
For them, EBITDA is reality, full stop. You mentioned working capital needs or debt rules or actual cash flow statements.
And you get resistance. Or just blank stares.
Resistance, confusion, yeah. It's like, why are you bringing this other stuff up?
The article had that great analogy. Driving a car just by looking at the speedometer.
Yes. You're going fast, feeling great.
Looks good.
But you're ignoring the fuel gauge.
Oh.
The engine temperature light.
Getting worse.
And the fact you might be heading for a wall because you're not looking at the road or if you'll even make it there.
And history isn't kind to companies that only watch the speedometer, is it?
Not usually. No, they often don't build that lasting value, those great stock prices. They get stuck putting out fires.
Constantly needing more cash.
Yeah, raising capital not for smart growth, but just to cover the gaps, pay off debt that's coming due, because the operations themselves aren't actually generating enough cash.
It's that mistake, again, taking the filtered number, the selfie, for the real thing.
Focusing on the filter, not the underlying health. And the article suggests, maybe worryingly, this sometimes comes from a pretty weak grasp of basic finance, even high up.
Okay, so if EBITDA isn't the whole story, where is the reality? Where do we look?
The source points us to what it calls the holy trinity of financial statements.
Ah, the big three, the essential reports that, together give you the full picture.
Exactly. First up, the income statement. Profit and loss, P&L.
Right. Revenue, costs, expenses. This is where EBITDA comes from, but crucially, it goes all the way down to net income.
Shows if you're actually profitable after everything, interest, taxes, the lot. It's the profitability scorecard for a period.
Then the balance sheet. The article jokes it's the often neglected spouse in the Trinity.
Yeah. It's that snapshot in time, isn't it? What you own assets, what you owe liabilities.
And the owner's stake equity. This shows your structure, how you're funding things, working capital management.
Super important. How fast you turn inventory and receivables into cash, pay your bills. Are your assets actually working for you?
It shows if the company is built on solid ground, fundamentally.
And finally, the big one, the cash flow statement.
The article calls this the undisputed king of financial health.
And for good reason. It cuts through all the accounting fluff, the non-cash stuff.
Accruals, depreciation, all that.
Gone. It shows the actual cash coming in and going out. From operations, from investing.
Like buying or selling assets.
And from financing. Raising debt, issuing stock, paying dividends.
This is the ultimate judge, liquidity. Can the company actually pay its bills, fund itself, invest?
This is the absolute bottom line. Businesses don't go bust because they run out of EBITDA.
They run out of cash.
Simple as that. You can show profits, great EBITDA even, but if cash is tied up in stock or customers aren't paying fast enough.
Or you're pouring money into capital projects without the operating cash to back it up.
Or drowning in debt payments. The cash just dries up. Poof. The cash flow statement reveals that cold, hard reality.
Okay, so the Trinity is key. But the article also mentions some more, let's say, advanced metrics.
Yeah, for those finance pros wanting an even deeper dive, you hear acronyms like CFROI.
Cash flow return on investment.
Right, or CROCI, cash return on capital invested.
CZA, EVA, ROIC.
Cash value added, economic value added, return on invested capital, lots of them.
Sounds complex.
The acronyms can be. But the idea, especially behind the cash-focused ones like CFROI or CROCI, is pretty straightforward.
What's the core principle?
It's about measuring performance based on the actual cash you generate compared to the actual capital you put in, trying to get clearer than metrics swayed by accounting rules.
So cutting through accounting choices to see the real economic substance.
Exactly. Are you really creating value with the money you're using, not just reporting a profit number? They're tools for understanding that economic reality.
So it all comes back to that core message, doesn't it? Turnover is vanity, profit is sanity.
But cash is reality. Cash is the fuel. No fuel, the engine stops. Doesn't matter how fast the speedometer said you were going.
So the call to action from the source is clear. Stop being just an EBITDA lover.
Right. Aim higher. Become a holistic financial visionary.
Meaning,
embrace the complexity. See how everything connects: the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow, the whole ecosystem.
look past the easy, sometimes misleading single number.
To the full, maybe messier, but truer picture you get from the Holy Trinity.
The article even looks ahead a bit, mentioning things like AI and better data integration.
Yeah, saying those tools will make analyzing the full picture faster, maybe offer deeper insights in the future.
But the fundamental truth won't change.
Nope. Cash reality. That will always be the guide. It's about finance evolving, not just reporting the past, but actively shaping a valuable, sustainable future.
And that future, built on cash.
Solid foundation of cash.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what does this mean for you, the listener? Whether you're looking at investments, your own business, maybe even just personal finances.
Well, the message is, EBITDA might be a starting point, a quick glance, but don't stop there.
True financial health, real sustainability, it requires looking beyond that one number.
You need the Holy Trinity: income statement, balance sheet, and especially that cash flow statement, the king.
Becoming that holistic financial visionary is about understanding how they all work together.
Seeing the whole system.
So here's something to mull over. How might really focusing on the reality of cash, using that full trinity of statements, change how you look at opportunities.
Yeah, how does understanding the whole story, not just the highlight reel, that filtered number, shift your perspective? From the selfie to the full movie.